course, this is the announcement that I'm talking about. So, Rich, on Christmas Eve, we were getting ready to go to my grandparents for Christmas, and I get this, and I'm not gonna lie, it was like a kick in the nuts. But basically, the disabling of leaderboard rewards. So, as a part of the continued efforts to extend the runway and allow the team to focus on delivering the vertical slice part of the MMO, they're making adjustments to the active reward systems, and the following reward systems are disabled. So the overworld bounty, arena raffle, so that was just a random chance. I think once a month there was a raffle. Based off of how many games you played and how you finished, you would get a bunch of raffle tickets. I know you can see it in the in-game leaderboard still, like how many raffle tickets you would have had. I think those have absolutely no purpose anymore, if I do recall correctly. So that's going to be completely gone. That is out of here. The Gauntlet ranked leaderboard. So being in the top, I think it was the top 100, it would give you a little bit of a cash prize. It's not a cash prize. It was either an ILV or in fuel. But that's no longer going to be a thing. And then zero production. So this is just from your extractors. This does not count your fuel burning side of things. But the production side of things no longer has a leaderboard with rewards. The only things that are still active is the Illuvium Zero fuel burning leaderboard and the Beyond leaderboards. And honestly, yeah, they probably had to keep those because without those, there would be literally no purpose to play those games. Tournaments are still going ahead. Leaderboards will serve as feeder systems into those events. So keep climbing, it still matters. And then also going to review the state of the leaderboard rewards with the council and share an update. So this is the big update that kind of got everybody up in arms because the timing of this just sucks, to be completely honest with you. Like, to go through the biggest change that we've had in Illuvium so far, where Illuvium ranked now got switched into Leviathan. Everything's changed to Leviathan, so Illuvials that you already own is the main focus. That, of course, you either have to spend the money to go catch yourself or spend the money in the shop to buy off somebody else, and then it was all your alluvials. That was the big hype. There was such a huge sentiment. Like, we essentially destroyed the free-to-play experience to give a much better experience to the long-term people that are invested financially, as well as invested emotionally with their alluvials, and those players finally get the chance to do that. And I see that even still when I go into ranked, I see more people that I don't normally see or I didn't see in the past because they finally do get to play with their alluvials. And myself personally too, that's so much more special to me. I've been playing so much more ranked because they're my alluvials. However, there are a lot of players, they saw the change to ranked with it being ownership related and saw that there was a ranked leaderboard that gave rewards. A lot of people, I do believe, probably went to the market and bought alluvials with the justification for themselves that they would get a return on their investment through weeks and weeks and weeks of trying to be on the ranked leaderboard. So for that to immediately get pulled, and I use that word almost kind of deliberately, for this change to happen right after that, that hurts like hell. I don't like the word, because I personally think that all of this did need to happen, but the timing was just so rough to the point where I don't blame people that are yelling scam. You just gave like a big high and then it kind of feels like a bit of a rug in a sense. And that genuinely hurts, but this needed to happen for the sake of the runway and for the sake of making sure that everything else in the future is completely fine. But the timing was just brutal. Like, I love Illuvium, but this one definitely, like, really hurt. Like, it didn't necessarily upset me personally in terms of, like, missing out on rewards. I don't care. I just play the game for fun. If I happen to get rewarded, I happen to get rewarded. But I know there was a lot of people that had that kind of return on investments kind of idea on Christmas as well, which was stupid painful. So the one thing I'm going to say about this entire announcement, this felt rushed as hell, because even prior to this happening, especially for the overworld players, they were asking about their leaderboards, they're asking about what's going to be happening. I imagine they were just getting bombarded, and it was like the silence was deafening. For overworld in particular, the players, myself included, that were maybe playing for the bounty, it went down for a week prior. I think they said something along the lines that we were having technical difficulties with our point system. December 18th will be closed from December something to December 18th. But that date came and passed. It was dead silence. Nobody said anything, and the leaderboard still wasn't up. So those players were completely left in the dark, kind of speculating with each other. And I do not blame the overworld players at all for being so angry with how this was handled, because they thought their leaderboard was just down for a technical difficulty. They kind of kept things cool, and then we're going to get ready to play on the 18th. It came and went and nothing happened, and there was silence, and silence is honestly some of the most painful things that you can feel. For the longest time, and even still, Illuvium is still probably one of the most transparent games that I've known in all of gaming, let alone just the Web3 space. But this entire month or so, with the staking V3 and the shards not being known to the public, but only being held because of wanting a better marketing position, based off of crypto and other tokenomics, that just feels bad. That for a normie like me, that just feels bad. And then for this to have been so quiet, and then all of a sudden dumped onto us on Christmas, because likely everybody was going off for their Christmas break, and they needed to get something out while also not being able to actually respond to it, which I will give Illuvium credit. There were a handful of staff members that still stayed in the chats and talked with the players. So it wasn't like they just fired it off and then ran away for Christmas break. No. It's not what I'm trying to get at. I don't go into the Discord and really talk to many people, because that place, to be completely honest, is literally just a cesspool of people trying to get their return on investment extremely quickly, yelling out for scams or some sort of absolute negative doomsaying. On that day in particular, they won, and it hurt everybody, and that's honestly why the sentiment is so terrible right here, right now. Now, in regards to Zero production, so that going down definitely hurts a little bit, but at least the fuel burning is still there. And then Beyond Leaderboard staying, I mean, yeah, if there was no Beyond Leaderboards, I don't think there'd be any purpose to actually collect everything. In regards to tournaments, because they mentioned here that tournaments are still going ahead and will serve as a feeder. So this is what I'm very, very curious to see what they do, because most of the tournaments, if we remember IPL, we remember the OLA X Illuvium crossover and all those kind of things, it was always a sit and go, the main event on another day. It had absolutely nothing to do with your rank. At the beginning of the IPL, your rank did matter to being able to skip a sit and go, but eventually I think if I recall correctly, they threw that rule out, so that the only time you get a buy on the sit and go, I think, was for the IPL 1000 or something along the lines. I can't remember exactly. For the most part, they've not used ranked as a seeding system or a feeder system. So I am scared that Leaderboard serving as a feeder system, I'm scared that it's a throwaway line just to keep people playing. I want to be wrong. I 100% want to be wrong, but based off of past tournaments, they've moved away from the ranked leaderboard being the way that things were seeded. So I do worry that there's no reason to casually go into Overworld. There's no reason to casually play Arena. There is no reason to buy Alluvials casually. So with those three by itself, that just immediately put a damper on, I'd argue, 95% of the community. Illuvium Zero, I mean, hell, we're just looking for scraps at the end of the breadcrumbs anyway. We're digging through the trash just trying to get a glimpse of something cool. The production thing going away, I mean, it is what it is. If the zero fuel burn went away, there would be a lot more burning in the Discord, so to speak. I don't like the ranked requirements anyway. It's yeah, I honestly agree too, because your ranked play does not necessarily contribute one-to-one to how you play in a tournament setting, and it does oftentimes favor, especially now, for those players that can just sit down and grind out a bunch of games where there might be only one other player with you and the rest are bots. If you're just grinding out games and maybe going up against one actual competitive player, in due time you will be at the top of the ladder. Example one, I know I'm not a competitive player. Why am I in the top 20 in the world? Like, my Illuvials, for example, are average about maybe level 35. They have plenty of room to go, especially, of course, for those that don't know, max level is 60. Definitely hurts, because the game, especially Arena right now, feels like it's in the best place it's ever been. With the ownership now in effect, all the new changes, all the new regions, all the new drone augments, the recycler having so much more player agency actually taking effect into the battle. The battles feel the best that they've ever done, and those moments where even if it's like, say, myself versus Soda or myself up against Dr. Spoon, those moments where it's the two people with the massive collections fighting it off, those are some of the best experiences and the best battles I've ever felt. I come out of those battles and I feel tired. I feel good. Like, I feel win or lose. Okay, I did my best. That was fun. Oh, let's try again. It's the best experience ever, and nobody's playing it because nobody has a reason to. But again, this needed to happen. Just the timing sucks, because if you look at literally any other game, let me throw Overwatch out there, for example, or Valorant. Valorant is not paying you to be on their ranked leaderboards. Valorant does not pay you because of the size of your skin collection to kind of coincide with, like, Illuvium Beyond kind of idea. That never happens, but what they do is something extremely simple that I'm surprised that Illuvium has not quite done yet, is just cosmetic rewards. If the seasons were a little bit longer, let's say if they were 3 months long, and we called it the Season of the Axolotl, top 50 gets the Atlas skin, but it has a gold trim on it. Top 25 get the Axon skin with a gold trim on it. Top 5 get the Axon with, or the Axodon skin with a gold trim on it. That is literally all you have to do, and there you have something special that people can fight for. Web3 people probably don't care because you're not paying their rent, but no game should have to do that. But what they can do, if you grind those up, the leaderboard, and you have one of those skins, one of the beauties of Web3, if you want to use that skin for something that you can then sell, there's nothing stopping you. You have a one of a maximum, let's say with the Atlas one, 50 skins of this version ever made. If you have the Axodon, one of 5 skins ever made. And all you have to literally do is a hue shift on your skin. And that would kind of revitalize and put it in line with the other games that we see, not Web3, but in just general gaming as a whole. Because again, I mean, I know I'm very vocal about this. I think play to earn is an absolute plague, and it destroyed Web3 gaming as we see it right now. Eventually, other studios will, as well as Illuvium, as what they're doing right now, are going to move away from it. This is a symptom of moving away from it, but it hurts so badly because it was there in the first place. If it was never there in the first place, this would never hurt. It always hurts more to be given something than take it away than if it just never existed at all. And for me, that's play to earn. I'm not opposed to people making money with games. I love the idea of being able to sell and trade my Illuvials and lands, for example. But like most of the other like earning stuff, keep them to tournaments, keep them to events. That's where it should have been, instead of these leaderboards. But just unfortunately, we are going to be feeling a massive ripple effect onto this until there is some sort of major positivity. Because especially how they're talking about tournaments in the corner over here, there's no tournaments listed, announced at all. Nothing. Nothing at all right now. So saying that tournaments are still going ahead, that's great. Saying that your ranked is going to serve as a feeder system for it, okay, where's the tournament? We're just kind of in the Umber's cloud of smoke right now. We don't know what's happening. We don't have a target to shoot for, but for a super casual or for a super power user that has everything completed, there's nothing for them right now. And that makes me so sad, because I love this game and I still believe that this game is going to be a breakthrough in gaming as a whole, not just Web3. But this hurts. And as much as I love Illuvium, I love the opportunities in getting the chance to work with them, and I do hope there is still the opportunity and the door is still open. But I will not be a simp, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not just going to be a shill. So when something comes up that is frustrating, I do need to talk about it, and this is definitely one of those days. It was a necessary evil, but it could have been handled so much better, and it just makes me sad. But in terms of the arena ranked, literally just get some skins in there, get a battle board, get a drone blast, something along those lines. Some sort of cosmetic, and there'd be something to fight for. I should not be 20th in the world right now. My collection is decent, but it's not that good. I don't like normally talking about the negativity, but that was definitely the elephant in the room, so to speak. And it would be disingenuous to all of you and then to myself if I did not talk about it.